And now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. This portion of the show is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. Maui Jim Sunglasses, the choice of the best captains. Shimano Rods and Reels, fish with the best. Shimano. And by Yamaha Outboards, official motor sponsor of Let's Talk Hookup. Here we go. Another great hour of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. Here's Pete Gray and Rock Cod Rick Maxa.
Welcome back, hour number 2. Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa. We have the guru. Yes, indeed. The guru of tackle, Mr. Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle and Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. And it's kind of a busy spot these days, right, guys?
You're not kidding.
It's an exciting, fun place to be every day. You just look forward to going to work. People that come in, and they're so excited. And some of them are just getting to finally fishing their first trip of the year and getting their line put on their reels and, you know, kind of feeling out what they need and where to go and what to do. And, you know, like we mentioned earlier in the show, all of us are just, it just is so infectious, and you just start freaking out. You know,
almost giddy.
I want to go. Yes,
I know almost about it.
No, almost exactly. So yeah, it's a pretty special time. And Memorial Day weekend, I mean, we had trips going out, you know, half day and then overnight trips and day and a half trips and 2 3/4 day trips and 4-day trips and, you know, some 7 and 8 day trips just started up. So, you know, it definitely is a good kickoff point for every type of fishing. And so, you know, probably the Laos Rocks are going to get looked at. And, you know, all of the, you know, southwest where the albacore grounds are, you know, the guys took a look yesterday and didn't really find much. But, you know, with that one albacore caught and several more jumping around the boat, you know, it's on people's minds. So it's just, you know, it's hope springing eternal right now.
Yes, indeed.
There's such a cool element, too, to the day-and-a-half trips that are going right now. There was several boats that fished that Colnet area yesterday, and they had, as we've been having all year, phenomenal yellowtail fishing. Very, very good yellowtail fishing. But the thing that is kind of also happened is there's bluefin, that good grade bluefin that is on the bank. It's on the high spots. I mean, guys are having, you know, 50 and 70 and 100 fish days on that really good yellowtail, biting yo-yo jigs and surface jigs and bait and top and bottom, but then also having big bluefin like in the mix. You know, there was guys who were winding their yo-yo jigs off the bottom trying to catch a yellowtail and having a bluefin grab. Like, there's some cool stuff going on right now. Yeah, it's really cool. Well, as you can hear in the second hour, we're having a great time. Again, we'd love to hear from you this morning. If you want to be a part of the show, 858 area code 457-1090. That's our local number. Or call us toll free. That one's 877-792-1090. As we mentioned at the beginning of the show, too, just an awesome prize for one lucky caller, including a 6-pack of those great live deception jigs, courtesy of our friends at Ahi USA, a really cool dart-style jig that just has an unbelievably realistic finish. It's a really cool jig, those live deception jigs. And a $50 gift card to Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop. You're going to get to come down and have a full $50 shopping spree on us.
You can check in the guru with the guru. And he can guru you out for $50.
Straight up.
Guru you up.
There you go. Phones are packed. Let's jump into it, Rick.
Got it. How about we start off the second hour with our man Goldie from North Park is calling. Good morning, Goldie. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, gentlemen. Yes, I am salivating because I leave on an 8-dayer on the Angler next Sunday.
Nice.
On the American Angler. Wow.
But I want your talk at the beginning about tackle and line size needs to consider one thing, and that's the physical conditioning of the idiot on the other end of the line. And like Ricky said, being on a fish for 3 hours, my God, there's not many guys I know that can hang on a fish for 3 hours.
No.
So, but it's a valid point, and that's what I think needs to be considered along with, do I get a bite on lighter line, or do I go for something harder to get on heavier line? That's an issue, which I can't answer. And the other one is to Doug. Doug, you got to mention the setup you set me up with, which was a Trinidad 30A. Is that right, Doug?
Correct.
And what was the 11-foot stick you put me on?
Well, I think it was 10 foot, and you're going to really tax me now. But was it the 100 mag by chance?
I think it was.
Yes.
And it was, and I fished 50 on it.
Yep, absolutely.
And it casts like a dream. The hard part for me is getting the first crank after, a big fish eats it. And I was wondering, is that something that cow sheets I couldn't get through last week could modify my 30A so an old sluggard like myself can utilize the power of the reel more effectively?
I'm not sure there's anything that he can do, and I don't think that there's any modified, longer handles like Newell used to do with their 5.5 to 1 reels. You put a longer handle on it to give you a little more leverage. I just think, you're dealing with giant fish on medium-sized tackle, and you got to do the best you can. But with that said, now I will tell you, there's quite a few guys just with this dynamic that we've never had before of surface iron fishing for 50 to 100-pound fish. Some guys are starting to throw 2-speed lever drag reels, and you're not going to throw your jig as far, but if you can get the hookup on that, and again, it's which trade-off do you go for? But if you can hook that fish on 50-pound test and a 2-speed lever drag reel, now you can put it in low gear when there's the instance where you can't turn the handle, and you can at least be gaining some line and shortening the length of the fight so that you have less chances for that fish to get away. But with that said, Trinidad A is a pretty tough reel to beat for having cranking power on a high-speed reel on a surface iron. So I think you've got a good outfit. There's just no way to get around it. A 100-pound fish or a 50-pound fish is going to give you some fits on a long rod and a star drag reel like that.
Bottom line. Thanks a lot for the call, Goldie.
All right, next up, let's talk to Paul, calling us from Raleigh, North Carolina. Good morning, Paul. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hey, Pete, Rick, and Doug. Nice to talk to you.
Hey, how you doing?
Paul Kern.
Yeah, I thought so,
we
Paul.
figured.
Yeah. As you probably know, I have the Carnes brother trip on the RP.
Oh, yeah.
And coming up in August, and I'm looking for a little bit of an advantage to outfish my brother.
Right.
What's coming up on the horizon? I know ICAST is coming up. Any new things coming up, like a new flat fall or new reel or rods?
Unfortunately, I don't think there's been a ton of innovation. We went through the Great Recession. Everybody kind of pulled in their horns, and a lot of what's going on in our industry is, a lot of stuff being made overseas, and so one company's seeing what the other company's selling and then going and copying that. Definitely the advent of a lot of companies coming out with poppers has kind of flourished the last 2 or 3 years because we've had such good popper fishing. And I don't know if you fished back in the 80s on the long-range trips, but we used to use a thing called a surface cruiser and catch 200-pound tuna on those. It was made by Yozuri. So popping is nothing new, and it was more of a stick bait style popper. It had a small popper in the front, and then it got kind of bulbous towards the back of the jig. But, poppers is definitely a thing that you want to kind of have in your arsenal and hone that skill. But I don't know, is there anything you can think of, Rick, that's just like earth-shatteringly, going to give him the leg up?
Paul and Ken have a unique scenario that, they are nuts about their gear also. And anytime something new comes out, they always have, hey, stash me this for when I come down for my trip. So there's been a couple of news. I'm just thinking of the stuff that are already sitting in a bag for the Carnes brothers at the shop. And this is the truth. And there's some cool new surface irons. We took on a couple of different surface iron lines, both the Z-Bar and those JRIs, and they're new and different. And JRI makes a big,
they do.
They make a really cool big lure that's got a good hook on it and a cool paint job. So I stashed some Z-Bar and some JRIs for the Carnes brothers already. And for enough money, Paul, I will exclude Ken's out of that bag if you're really looking for that big of an advantage.
Absolutely, Rick.
All right.
we can also dull a couple of the edges on his so he doesn't even know why he's not getting
it.
Yeah,
that'd be a good way to do it. Good call.
It's called tackle sabotage.
Yeah,
we're pretty good at that.
Are you now? So, Paul, are you listening to us on the Mighty 1090 app?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, great. Thanks a lot. Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah. How's the fishing?
Well, actually, we have a storm this weekend coming off South Carolina, so we weren't able to get out this weekend, but fishing's good.
And how's the new
a little
boat?
different fishery, but it's a good fishery.
Awesome.
All right.
Very good. Hey, thanks a lot for contacting us from Raleigh,
Yeah, thanks,
Carolina. Paul. And, I might add, while we're talking about the Mighty 1090 app, you can download that on your Android device, on your iPhone device, on your iPad device. You can listen live 7/24 to the Mighty 1090, including Let's Talk Hookup. Or you can go to our archives page at hookup1090.com, our Yamaha Outboards archives page, sponsored by Yamaha Outboards, where you can access 7/24, any of the shows. Adam does a great job getting them up right after our broadcast here. You can hear the previous month, 6, 8, 10 months of shows right there on our archives page at hookup1090.com. Also, you can subscribe to our podcast and also subscribe to our YouTube channel, where all of our archives are on our YouTube channel, as well as a new video I just finished yesterday on Cedros Tackle Adventure that we were on the previous week with the guys from Cedros Tackle on our kayak adventure. The new video is up and available right now on our YouTube channel, Let's Talk Hookup Radio Show. If you want to subscribe or just check it out, go to the front page of our website, hookup1090.com. Click on the red icon for YouTube and subscribe, and check out that new Cedros Tackle. It was so much fun putting that video together because that was such a fun trip.
I'll bet.
And
that's cool.
And I have some aerial footage from the new drone I'm still learning to fly from some of the stuff, and some other great footage with Jeff and the gang there on those Hobie Mirage Drive kayaks, some good calico fishing, and more. And there was still, as I thought, one spot still available on that July trip to go down with Cedros Tackle. It's a great adventure, and after you watch that video, you'll probably want to sign up.
I believe that. Well, hey, with that, let's find out what's going on the water. Our man, your saltwater guide, Captain Dave Hansen, has got our fishdope.com report. Good morning, Dave.
Morning, Dave.
Well, good morning, guys. Good morning.
How you doing, Dave?
I am doing phenomenal. I'm just about to pull up to Hen Rock here at Catalina, so I can't get much better than this.
Yeah, no kidding, man. No, there's probably no boats over there on Memorial Day weekend, right?
No, there's nobody here. It's pretty dead.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Now, this is not quite as exciting as going on down the coast there, what you guys have been talking about all morning, and you guys are hitting that pretty hard, so I'm going to leave that alone. Everybody knows what you guys are talking about down there. We're going to talk about this boring fishing going on at Catalina over at San Clemente Island. It's pretty much, guys, every single spot that you've ever thought of or heard of, yellowtail on it. San Clemente Island, Catalina, both on the front side where it's flat, glassy, and calm, guys. If you're lucky enough to get some squid from one of the bait companies that have it, I know Newport has squid, San Pedro has squid, the Long Beach Carnage is right here in front of Avalon selling squid. Get some squid and go to one of your favorite spots up or down the front side of Catalina, as long as you don't get bothered by those beautiful California endangered sea lions. It's pretty good yellowtail fishing. And it doesn't really seem to matter if there's conditions or not. The only thing that's affecting them is that California sea lion. If you can get on a spot and not have any sea lions, it seems to be pretty good. Yesterday with my 3 guys, we ended up catching 28 of them right here at Long Point. And that's kind of where we're going to get started this morning. We're over at St. Island, same thing, front side of the island. Live squid, pretty good fishing all over those smaller grade yellowtail. And, guys, the bycatch is nice big calico bass. So it's phenomenal fishing on both front sides. And then on the back side of Catalina, 3 or 4 days in a row here, the skiffs have done really well on the sea bass. They're on the beaches and out on the squid grounds off the Salta Verde. From Salta Verde down to the 3 V's there, just got to sit on it and relax and wait for those sea bass to come through, and they're a nicer grade of fish. That 20 to 40-pound fish is swimming around back there. But all I can tell you is if you have a chance, you want to get over here to Catalina or over to Clemente, it's very, very good fishing. And like Brian Woolley was saying earlier, Dana Point just got loaded with some of the most beautiful anchovies I've seen this year. If you want to go catch fish with your kids or something, I would go to Dana Point, get some of that beautiful anchovy, and go fish any of those kelp lines. The bass fishing along the beach right now is phenomenal with that anchovy.
Fun.
And that's my report for this week.
That's a pretty darn good
bro.
report there, Dave. And, of course, you can get Dave's report, Mark's report, all the good reports at fishdope.com. It's your source. If you don't have – what's the deal? Why wouldn't you have fishdope.com, Dave?
I have no idea. Like I was talking to Danny this morning, you can pretty much look at what Danny's done with the chart and follow that bluefin exactly where it's moving. If you don't have fish dope and you're not a good friend of Rick Max or Doug Kern or you, I don't know how you figure out where that bluefin's going. You got to kind of have an idea. So fish dope's the best way to go. You got to get on there. You guys got to be a part of fish dope coming into this season. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, well, guess where we get our information? Fish Dope. Save $20 on a new membership to fishdope.com. Use the code Hookup Now, lowercase, no space. Hookup Now, $20 off. And how do we find you, Mr. Dave Hansen?
YourSaltwaterGuide.com. Got a beautiful website. You can check that out. I got a beautiful charter boat in Dana Point that we're on today, 65-foot Hatteras. We hold 20 scoops of bait. You guys want to go on that? Or you can just take me on your boat, and I'll go with you and teach you how to fish on your boat. Whatever level you want, 949-374-0786. Talk to you guys next Sunday.
Thanks, Dave. Good luck today. Have fun over there.
All right. Hey, again, reminding you, announcing Yamaha Outboards Wake Up the Season sales event for a limited time from now through June 15th. Purchase a select eligible new Yamaha 4-stroke outboard, and it'll come with up to $500 in dealer credit towards the purchase of those additional goods and services. Reliability starts here. Yamaha. Visit your nearest Yamaha Outboards dealer today for more details.
Dan in Encinitas, you're next up. Good morning.
Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah.
How's it going this morning?
I'm getting ready to pull the trigger on a two-speed. I mean, I've got my 25, my 30, my 40-pound setups, but with these bigger tuna, yeah, I'm definitely looking for the fish of a lifetime. But I fish a lot of half and three-quarter days, so I'm looking for something versatile as far as free spool. So what are your suggestions on that? And does anybody have any San Pedro squid?
That would be a big no.
Yeah. But it might be coming because they're catching again, right?
I saw that. There's been some squid up at Catalina and around, so hopefully those guys will be able to get on it. And, it's been sorely missing. It's such good quality stuff.
No kidding.
But, as far as a good two-speed reel, there's no way you can go wrong with Talica. I've said it before, since I've been in the industry, 36 years, probably the best piece of equipment I've ever seen come to market. And as far as the size goes, if it was just going to be kind of your big fish reel for local fishing where, you might occasionally have a shot at a 100-pounder, but most of the big fish are going to be that 40 to 80-pound stuff. A 12 or a 16 does the job. You can fish, 65 or 80-pound backing. You can put 40, 50, or even a 60-foot short top shot on there. The 12 would probably give you the most versatility, but if it's strictly and only a big fish reel, you might then go up to a 20 or even a 25 if you're going to fish 60 or even an 80-pound top shot. So it kind of depends on, it sounds like you want something that's versatile on the smaller stuff as well. So I think if you've got 25, 30, and 40 on your star drag reels, I think a 12 would be a good, middle of the road one, or a 16, and then have a second one in the future be the 20 or the 25. If it's strictly going to be the big fish thing and nothing else, you might get a 20 or a 25.
All right. I hope that helps you out. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of this great info with Doug, more tackle, more fishing. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090.
You know what? We're going to go ahead and take another phone call.
All right.
Let's do it.
Sounds good to me. We'll jump back in. How about we talk to Tom, calling us from San Diego. Good morning, Tom. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
You there, Tom?
Ooh,
I
did
Tom.
not hear Tom there.
All right.
Well, let's try another one and talk to Don, calling us from Woodland Hills. Good morning, Don. You hanging in there with us?
Hey, guys. Good morning.
Hey, there you are.
Hey, Don.
Hey, happy Memorial Day to all of you.
Same to you.
Good call, Don. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, with this mix of really good yellowtail, bluefin, and mixing in some yellowfin, what kind of hooks are we going to set ourselves up with, just in case we run into a big guy?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear part of that question. Can you repeat that, please?
Of course. With the mix of good-sized yellowtail, bluefin tuna, and yellowfin tuna starting to show up, if you're going to set yourself up with a particular hook, what's it going to be?
Okay. Everybody has their personal preferences. I tend to use a J hook when going with, yellowtail, specifically. For some reason, I just feel like I get a better hook set and I almost go 100% exclusively with a circle hook for the tuna. You want to go with the biggest size hook you can get away with and still get a bite, and conditions will change. So, if you're on a sport boat, pay attention to the guys that are getting bites. If you're on a private boat, same thing. If your buddy's getting some bites on a certain size hook and you've got a bigger one, maybe that's going to be the problem. I do tend to use the ringed hooks now for, the offshore tuna stuff. And so your size range is going to be that 2.0 to 5.0 stuff on most sardine-type applications. When you start getting up into mackerel, which both yellowtail and tuna are very susceptible to, that 6.0, 7.0 type range, 5.0, 6.0, 7.0. As we all know, the circle hooks tend to hook the fish in the corner of the mouth, provided you don't swing. If you swing, you're probably going to miss the hook up altogether. So let them eat it, put it in gear. I think everybody's pretty astute on that now, and it'll usually find the corner of the mouth. And like I say, for the yellowtail, I'm a fan of a J hook.
All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. You stay tuned. Mighty 1090. Rock Cod Rick here to tell you about Parker Boats and the guys at West Coast Marine. By now, you all know my boat partner and I bought a new 25 Parker center console from Kevin Kelly and the crew at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. We've known for a long time that a Parker was the boat for us. It's a stout workhorse of a boat built to last and get you home when the seas get rough. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore tuna grounds. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip and there they are. Parker Boats of all sizes, fishing in the same areas as the sporties. There's a good reason for it: fishability and seaworthiness. West Coast Marine has several new Parkers in stock and ready for delivery. A 2520 XLD Pilot House with a $25,000 discount, a 2510 Walk Around with a $23,000 discount, and a 2320 Pilot House with a $15,000 discount, and they have more on the way. Don't get caught without a reliable boat when fishing is this good. Take it from me, if you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see Kevin Kelly at West Coast Marine. Check out the inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
It's a fact. The right jig can outfish live bait, especially when you're using the new Live Deception jigs from Ahi USA. They use real images of bait fish printed directly onto the jig, and Live Deception jigs have near bulletproof wire-through rigging, 3X must-have treble hooks, and solid welded ring. Live Deception jigs hook up and hold up. Available now at all fine tackle shops.
Pete here. I was fortunate enough to use the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 touchscreen chart plotter and sonar unit on my boat this summer and fall. And let me say, it's truly incredible. With an easy-to-use tablet-style interface that's fresh but familiar, the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 combines a multi-touch screen with push-to-select rotary dial for precision control and speedy response. As for marking schools of tuna, yellowtail, and more, it's the best. You run over a school, and there they are in full color and high definition. The new NSS Evo 2 built-in sonar technology, including chirp and structure scan, can't be beat. I recently added the Simrad AP24 autopilot to my system. I've had other autopilots before, but I can tell you this one is simple, sensitive, and accurate. It integrates with my Simrad NSS Evo 2. I set a waypoint, touch the screen, and the boat steers to that spot. There's a lot more to the new Simrad NSS Evo 2 system and AP24 autopilot I'd like to tell you, but best just go to your local Simrad dealer or see simrad-yachting.com for more details.
No matter the fishing conditions, count on the Seaguar family of fluorocarbon leader material to help you catch more fish. Fluoro Premier has a smaller diameter with the highest break strength. Plus, it is super soft. When bites are tough, tie on Fluoro Premier. Blue Label is tough as nails with incredible abrasion resistance and impact strength. And new Pink Label is the choice for tough light conditions, giving you a little more visibility for better line control. Pick up a spool of Seaguar at your favorite tackle dealer or visit seaguar.com.
Sport fishing, not just for Dad anymore. At Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, kids fish free every Sunday. Free half-day fishing trip and clinic free for kids 12 and under every Sunday at Dana Wharf. Join the Dana Wharf Kids Club and get over $100 of really cool stuff like 2 free fishing trips, a free whale watch trip, and more. Dana Wharf, everyone's favorite since 1971. Click DanaWharf.com or visit them in the Dana Point Harbor, the bass capital of the West, and only minutes from the 5 freeway in Orange County. DanaWharf.com, where kids fish free.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. A spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or a fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at RoyalStarSportFishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
XEPRS 1090 AM, Rosarito, Baja California.
You're listening to the home of the Padres.
Oh,
right. San Diego's sports leader, the mighty 1090.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the mighty 1090.
All right, phones are packed. They want to talk to Captain Doug Kern, but before we do that, I got a couple announcements to make here. Our good friend Captain Tony Nino from the Bluefin charter boat out of Fisherman's Landing is going to be at the Oceanside Senior Anglers meeting on June the 10th. The meeting starts at 9 a.m. at the Oceanside Senior Center. If you're not a member of the Oceanside Senior Anglers and you're over 50, join them. Good group of people, and I know Cowboy's in there, and he goes to the meetings, and that's a good time. So go see Captain Tony and learn to catch some bluefin on the Bluefin.
That's a really cool charter boat, too. It's fairly new to the landing, but it's really cool for a small group. You know, I mean, it's a very comfortable boat it's I don't know what you'd call it. It's almost like, I don't want to say mini version because it's not mini small. It's just like if you've got your group of probably 15 or less, it's just a rad charter boat at the landing. All new. They pumped a ton of money into
They did everything.
It is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. They went through that whole boat. It's a 50-foot boat. You take as few as 6, as many as, depending on the length of the trip, 12 or 15. And, you know, it's just it's
cool. And there's spots available this summer on the Bluefin, I believe, too.
Yeah, they'll do a little bit of open party stuff, but the best thing to do is get, you know, your 8 or 10 buddies and go. And
perfect for 8 people.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they have 12 bunks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a cool ride.
Yeah.
Check it out, the Bluefin.
Yeah.
And then check out the Oceanside Senior Anglers on June the 10th, 9 a.m. at the Oceanside Senior Center. And also, you want to see the Cowboy? You know, he's the real celebrity.
No doubt about that, man.
It's next Saturday. It's this coming up Saturday, June the 4th at Encinitas Ford for our first San Diego County Ford dealers. Great thing. You know, all the San Diego County Ford dealers this weekend have the Cellathon going on. And I'm telling you, from personal experience, if you're in the market for a new car you want to buy during the Cellathon, they have them on Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. You can literally save thousands of dollars. I've been there, done that. I did it. So if you're in the market for a new car or truck, this is the weekend you want to buy a new car or truck at your San Diego County Ford dealers, because the Cellathon has huge rebates and huge incentives to make you buy now. This is a really good time to buy at your San Diego County Ford dealers. But we'll be at Encinitas Ford with Captain Mark Wheeler. Encinitas Ford is at the corner of El Camino Real and Encinitas Boulevard, and your first chance to win that trip to Katmai Lodge in Bristol Bay, Alaska on Alaska Airlines. And, of course, we'll be giving away chances to win a trip on the Blackjack, Shimano Rods and Reels, Maui Jim Sunglasses. So come on down and join us. It's this Saturday at 7 a.m. at Encinitas Ford. It's going to be a good time, and get an autograph from the Cowboy.
That's right.
Yeah. He's the guy with the cowboy hat, in case you didn't know.
The man.
He'll be easy to spot.
Yeah, for sure. Let's jump into the phones, Rick.
You got it. We got a first-time caller. We've always said first-time callers go right to the front of the line. That's the case with Rich, calling us from San Pedro this morning. Rich, thanks for joining us for the first time here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, good morning, guys. Great show.
Morning.
Rich?
Hey, got a couple quick Shimano questions for you. With the big bluefin floating around, any modifications to the flat fall jigs as far as changing it out to a single hook? And then my second question is, from the previous caller, with Italica 20 and 25, what's the biggest pound hollow ace that you would put on those two reels?
All right, well, as far as the flat fall jigs, they come pretty appropriately rigged. The only thing that somebody might do is if they wanted to go with the next size up, the hooks, but they've already got the single hooks on there, and probably no need for any modifications there. As far as the heaviest line on the 20s and the 25, you can certainly do 80, 100, or, some people even might put, they stagger it where you might put some lighter line down on the bottom, but then have your top 100 yards be like 130 pounds. So when you're just honking on them that last 100 yards, you've got the 130 pound. But I'd say super appropriate is like 100-pound test. And, You get plenty of line, and then you can put 60, 80, 100, on your top shot, that kind of thing.
Okay, very good. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right, let's try Tom from San Diego again. Tom, you back with us?
Yeah, sorry, the battery ran down or something. I had a couple questions. One, I wanted to rib Doug a little bit about his predictions for albacore. Yeah.
I don't predict albacore.
Okay.
That was me, Tom. Yeah, that was me.
And they came true, so nice on.
I know, right?
Exactly. All right.
Are you trying to bag on me for something that came true, Tom?
Yeah, right?
I actually don't predict any fish, but I will go as far as to say all the signs are in place for us to potentially have a pretty darn good pelagic offshore season. Whether or not that'll be albacore, obviously we have some bluefin, yellowtail here. But that's the fun of fishing, is watching it unfold, hearing everybody's predictions, and they're always different from each other, and so who's going to be right, who's going to be wrong. I can tell you it's like any other cyclical thing that goes on in life, that those things will return at some point. The stocks are very healthy of albacore. They've just been, a few hundred miles north of us the last, almost 10 years now, and they will return, and everybody's going to freak out when it happens, and it could be this year or next year, and hopefully so.
All right. Well, I had a question.
Tom's call is going to involve bluefin in some way or another.
You think?
That's my prediction.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I had a quick question on if you do hook into one of the bigger bluefins, how much do you play with your drag?
The only time that I would say you're really going to be adjusting drags might be if you're doing like kite fishing. Sometimes to get things straightened out, you might go a little bit more loose. But I would say set your drag at the appropriate amount. 25 to 33% is the range typically of your line's breaking strength at strike. And when you get that bite, push it up to strike, and for the most part, leave it there. If, some people at the end game will just button it down, you don't want that fish to get its head and take a lot of line, but you're also creating a little bit of risk that you might snap the fish off. Sometimes if you've got a fish that takes a ton of line and you're getting down to, half diameter, your drag actually at half diameter is now double the drag setting. So if you set it at, say, 25 pounds and you lose half your diameter, now you've got 50 pounds. So sometimes people will back off a little bit just to take a little bit of the pressure off your connection or off your line. But for the most part, I would say 90% of the time you push it to strike, and that's where you're going to fight the fish for the duration.
All right. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning.
All right. Let's jump right back into him and talk to Mike. He's calling us from Carlsbad this morning. Hi, Mike. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Thanks for calling, Mike.
Good morning, gentlemen. I hear you guys talking about a good swimming surface iron. I was wondering what makes a good swimming surface iron. Is it the wobble, the back and forth movement, or what is that?
That's a really good question. And just a little history lesson. All those jig manufacturers, but especially Taddy Shimizu, back in the 50s and 60s, he would go fishing on a regular basis, and he would stare into the live bait well and watch the motion of those, back then, a lot of sardines. And he would bring the jigs, and he'd throw them out and watch the swimming action, and then he'd have his tools and his files, and he would keep modifying those jigs. And he wanted to emulate some of the motions that a live bait gave so that he could have a natural presentation, and he found that drew a lot of strikes. And what it really means is a jig should have a pattern that is as wide as possible. Now, I'm going to say maybe a foot to, maybe 14 or 15 inches from side to side would be a good width of a swimming pattern. But beyond that, if it's just a very rhythmic back and forth, that's not going to draw the strike as much as a very erratic, unpredictable, almost like you'd see a butterfly trying to fly in the wind. I always say, oh, this got the butterfly action. If that jig's going back and forth and kicks out to the side real violently one time, or, you'll see a bait fish sometimes, it'll twitch, and then it'll, break the normal rhythmic pattern. If you can get a jig that'll do that, a lot of times, if you watch your jig, you'll see yellowtail following it, but they won't commit. But when that jig kind of twitches and breaks out of the pattern, that's when they attack it. So And the jigs will swim differently at the dock versus on the water. And even if you're on the water and there's a certain current or swell size, speed has a lot to do with it. You've got to kind of watch your jig swim and figure out, in whatever conditions you're in with the current and the swell, how do I make that jig kind of a little bit more erratic, and that'll draw a lot more bites.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Mark Whaler, Encinitas Ford. Were we talking about the Cellathon? Is that what drew your call?
Good morning, Pete, Rock Todd,
What's up, Wheeler?
and Doug.
Mr. Wheels.
Hey, looking forward to having you guys next week for the our annual Let's Talk Hookup live remote, but also this weekend when we've got the Cellathon going. If you're not on Bluefin, you need to get to your Ford dealership.
So, like I just said, Mark, this is from personal experience in buying a Ford car during the Cellathon. You save a lot of money, right?
You save a lot of money, and there's deals. We're offering deals, and all the Ford dealers are. It's a feeding frenzy, and we're in it, and we're everybody's winning. You know, the consumer wins because there's more money coming from the manufacturer. So it makes it real easy.
So explain, kind of give an example of what the Cellathon's all about. If we wanted to come and buy a new Ford F-150.
So on your new Ford F-150, there's $1,000 that goes in your pocket, right? It comes straight from the manufacturer to the consumer. So it's $1,000 win. And how long does it take to save $1,000? After Uncle Sam gets a little of it and this and that, it's a solid $1,000 on the table, on top of rebates of $4,000 and $5,000 on most of the F-150s.
Come on,
which happens to be the best truck in the world, which is the one I drive. But
no question.
That's a separate story. The deal is unbelievable, and the product is the best on the market.
Yeah, so. Wait a minute. So you could save $6,000-$7,000 on a Ford F-150 this weekend?
Yes.
And what happens after this weekend? Those all go away, right?
The grand goes away. There's still great deals to be had, but the time to strike is when the bite's on and the money's out there from the manufacturer, and it's right now. It's right this weekend. Actually, because the way the calendar falls, it goes through Tuesday, but don't wait that long. You want to come in today, tomorrow, or today or tomorrow is the day to come in because there's, selection and all the other stuff going on. But the Cellathon does go through Tuesday.
And that's at all the San Diego County Ford dealers. And how's your inventory at Encinitas Ford?
We got an awesome inventory.
Yeah.
We're ready to find anything and everything either out of our inventory or get them whenever they want.
Yeah. And next weekend we'll be celebrating. Will there be any cars and trucks left after the Cellathon
we'll have a few
next Saturday?
We'll have a couple left just for show.
Yeah, just
all
for
right.
show.
You know the other car that's just amazing is that C-Max. What that thing is amazing.
C-Maxes, there's a lease special on, and it's about $200 a month for the C-Max Energy plug-in that goes 23 miles on electricity at 90-something miles per gallon equivalent, and then another 600 miles on gasoline. So it goes like 600 and some odd miles, 90-something miles per gallon on electricity and 40-something on gasoline, and leases for a couple $100 a month. Come on. How can you beat that?
And this is like a real car. This is not like a tin can like some of those other plug-in high-backs, right?
I mean, yes, we won't mention names, but yes.
The one begins with a pre, yeah.
has a real solid platform, same platform as the Ford Escape, and they're awesome. So we got everything. We got Escapes, Explorers, Expeditions, the Edges, and we'd love to see anyone come down to Encinitas Ford or any of the other Ford dealers in San Diego County while the fishing's good, and there's a lot of money that goes directly to the consumer just for coming in this weekend.
Well, we'll be talking fishing and Ford next Saturday live at Encinitas Ford. We're looking forward to it, Mark.
Can't wait. Thanks, guys.
All right, Thanks, Mark. Mark Wheeler, who is believe me.
Yes.
Rick and I have fished with him. He is a hardcore fisherman. They don't come too much hardcore than
very
Mark.
core.
Yeah, very core. Yeah.
No doubt about that. Well, the phones are packed up. Let's talk to Jeff. He's calling us from Hemet this morning. Hi, Jeff. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Morning, Jeff.
Hey, I just acquired and I bought a brand new Lexa HD 300.
Nice.
Got it spooled with 50, but I need a rod to be paired with.
All right. What kind of fishing are you going to do with that? Is it going to be more inshore, offshore?
Mostly inshore on my little boat along the kelp and stuff, and maybe out 5 miles or so.
Okay. I mean, that reel, the HD, the heavy duty, is definitely a beefed up version of the original, and it will handle, gearing and drags and bearings and so forth. Some little bit nicer fish. You're probably limited mostly by, your line capacity, but with that said, you can go catch a yellowtail or a, kelp patty dorado or something like that. But certainly, some big calicos and halibut and, all the inshore stuff that we like to catch as well. And I would say that Terramar series offers a lot of potentials in 7, 7.5, and 8-foot rods. 8 foot, obviously being the better casting, but if you're a kind of a hardcore big calico guy, you might want to go down to the shorter rods so you've got that quick hook set and, be able to pull them out of the weeds. They have several actions that reel would be compatible with. So you just, I would suggest if you can get into the shop and we can, quiz you a little bit more on exactly what you're going to be doing with it, and then you can pull on the various actions. Some people like something that's just ultra stiff. Other people want a little lighter action because they're going to throw some, a little bit lighter swim baits or, even live bait, that type of thing. And then we can dial in like the perfect rod for you.
There you go. Thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Hard to believe our Whalers Cove Lodge trip has been sold out. We had a couple cancellations earlier that filled right away.
Yeah.
We just had one more one-person cancellation for the full 7-day package in there. You can go either 3 days with Rock Cod Rick or 4 days with me. We have a 7-day block there because it's such a popular event this August, which is prime time for Whalers Cove. So if you want to grab that one person, one slot, either on a 3-day, 4-day, or a 7-day, you call Jay up at Whalers Cove at 800-423-3123. Check WhalersCoveLodge.com. It's an awesome experience. Rick, you are going to go crazy
I can't
up there.
wait. Yeah, I'm really excited.
Really, really fun place. Let's go ahead and jump back in the phones.
Robert and Poway, you're up next on Let's Talk Hookup. Robert, thanks for hanging in there with us.
Good morning, Robert.
Morning, guys. Hey, good to talk to you. It's Memorial Day.
Indeed.
I'm just here paying my respects to my good friend who's a veteran, 82nd Airborne Paratrooper, Chuck Byron.
That's cool, Robert. Right on.
Anyways, my questions are for the Guru and Guru Jr.
Guru Jr.
Okay, first for Doug there, as far as the tranks, you got the level wind and the non-level wind tranks. For surface iron, which would you prefer?
Well, I'm not aware of a non-level wind tranks. They're all level wind.
Oh.
And they have 2 different gear ratios, and so we use the higher gear ratio. But
do you even stock the low gear ratio?
We don't. We've special ordered a couple for people, but it's not really conducive to the type of fishing that most of our people do. You want that little higher speed retrieve so that you can take up the line quickly. It just seems like that 6-to-1 is a very standard saltwater configuration now. That if you're doing a surface iron, you want to go slow, you turn the handle slower. But if you need to take up line quick, it'll and it's got a small diameter spool, not super small, but you've that high speed gear ratio is most appropriate for everything that we do. So being that there's not a non-level wind, what was that mainly your question? Which one to get, or?
Yeah, no, for some reason, I be thinking of another model reel then.
Definitely.
That answers my question as far as a reel.
Some of the older Calcuttas would come with and without, and they kind of called those without their live bait style, but definitely the tranks. I would recommend the level wind.
Indeed, and it's an amazing reel with amazing power on it.
Really is.
Indeed. In fact, Rick and I both received a photo from Dave Pfeiffer, who runs Shimano yesterday. Had really good day of bluefin fishing, and he caught it on tranks.
Yeah,
60 to 80 pounders.
There's just no question that reel has some advantage, especially when you've got, I always call it buck fever. When you're sliding up onto a school of foamers that's just freaking out, and, oh my God, having a level wind, which is going to stack your line perfectly every time, having this centrifugal braking system on the left side of the spool, that reel casts very easy, and it will definitely help you correct some mistakes that you get from getting the jumpiness of like, oh my God, there it is, making your cast, and it's a really good casting reel, but has very, very similar internals to a Trinidad. High power, high torque, great free spool. It's an awesome choice.
And now they make a Terramar rod with a reel seat that works
Yes.
for that reel, right?
They do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there you go.
I want to throw this out there. You mentioned that, the buck fever and everything. One thing in your preparation for your trip is you need to have the mindset that when you pull up on a school of fish that you don't freak out, that you breathe through your nose, you do things calmly and methodically, because that may be your one chance for the day. And don't get in a rush. Get yourself set up, make a nice cast, keep the backlash potential to a minimum, and really just focus on being relaxed and, certainly have a heightened sense of awareness and everything. But if you just do that, if you just allow yourself to freak out, you're going to be backlashing, you're going to be casting your jig off, snapping off your good Tatty 45 or whatever. Go tune yourself up mentally that, okay, and you're going to see those fish a long way away. Take that deep breath. When you roll up on it, make sure you've got the right lane to do your cast with and make a good presentation. You're going to be a much better angler if you do that.
I'll throw one other thing, too, is, some of these schools are moving very fast, and you see the birds come up, and you start chasing after the school, and you're chasing after the birds, and sometimes you're going 20 miles an hour, and that school is, you're hardly gaining anything on them, and you finally get within range, and I've seen over and over and over people not in good position, but they're close enough to make a cast. They pull the boat out of gear, and they make their cast real fast, and they're 2 seconds through it. And sometimes it takes an extra 5 or 10 minutes, which when that fish is up and freaking out, that's an eternity, but it takes that long to swing very wide and get in front of the direction that it's coming. Don't come up through the back of it and trying to get a cast at the back of where that fish is. Take the time to appropriately set yourself up in front of where it's going. Let that fish come through you. Because, like we said, they're not all biting. It's not just because you make a cast on a spot of fish doesn't mean you're going to catch one. Sometimes it takes a lot of shots, and if you can get the boat set up and not too fast and just slide in appropriately, sometimes you get 3 or 4 shots at a spot of fish, and sometimes that's what it takes to get one.
And how many times have you seen somebody make the cast while you're still sliding forward and you run your jig over? I mean,
all too often.
You've got to make sure that you're in position.
Yep. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Hey, when we come back, we're going to find out what lucky guy's got himself a $50 shopping spree to Fisherman's Landing, as well as a 6-pack of those great live deception jigs. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way on the Mighty 1090.
The Longfin in Orange, Southern California's premier fishing superstore, celebrates its 30th anniversary with a big event. It's Shimano Day, Saturday, June 11th. The Longfin will have Shimano, Power Pro, and G. Loomis all on sale for this one day only at incredible prices. Shimano Pro staffers will be under the tents in the Longfin parking lot to show you the latest rods and reels from Shimano, the latest rods from G. Loomis, and all the new line from Power Pro. Inside the Longfin, there's a Shimano store within the store, with special offers available from Shimano, G. Loomis, and Power Pro for this one day only. Every rod and reel in the huge Longfin stock will be on sale Saturday, June 11th only. Plus, you can win great stuff in a raffle at the end of the day. Winner need not be present. Celebrate the Longfin's 30th anniversary with the event anglers wait all year for. Shimano Day is Saturday, June 11th, starting at 7 and open till 7 at the Longfin, 2730 East Chapman, just off the 55 freeway in Orange. For directions or more information, check out the website at thelongfin.com.
Are you feeling that itch to get out on the water? Come fishing on the American Angler and reacquaint yourself with some familiar faces and make new friends. Captain owners Brian Kiyohara and Sam Patella take pride in every aspect of the American Angler operation, from their loyal and trusted crew to the sashimi-grade fresh fish you'll take home. It's easy to find a vacation that fits your schedule. We have everything from day and a half to 10-day trips and longer. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. We want you to become a part of the American Angler family.
This is Greg Stotesbury from AFCO. For more than 55 years, the American Fishing Tackle Company has been recognized as the premier manufacturer of precision-built offshore fishing tackle. AFCO continues this tradition today with an innovative technical fishing clothing line designed and built for ultimate performance on the water. From our next-generation fishing shorts like the Tactical Camo or Stealth Shorts to our Aft Block sun protection shirts like the Fish Ninja and Samurai Sun Hoodie, the entire AFCO clothing lineup is purpose-built with the latest AFTEC fabrics and designed with functional features to deliver top performance for the demanding angler. Visit www.afco.com to find a dealer near you.
The giant Fast Lane Kayaks in Mission Bay is hard to miss. Right in the middle of Dana Landing across from SeaWorld in Mission Bay. This massive 5,500 square foot location is loaded with Hobie Mirage Drive kayaks and more, including a great selection of Hobie clothing, stand-up paddleboards, paddles, and more. Check the latest from Hobie, the Eclipse, taking fitness out of the gym and onto the water. Test a new Eclipse kayak or stand-up paddleboard free right out their back door on Mission Bay. When it comes to Hobie, no one does it better than the crew at Fastlane at Dana Landing across from SeaWorld in Mission Bay. Check FastlaneSailing.com.
If the fish are biting, I'm on my boat, rain or shine. Of course, I wear my life jacket. It's like wearing a seatbelt. Clip it on, grab my tackle box, and hit the water.
Love California, Boat California, Save California. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup on the Mighty 1090. All right, the big winner of those 6-pack of Ahi Live Deception jigs and the $50 gift card to Fisherman's Landing Tackle Shop, my favorite tackle shop in San Diego.
You think? Yeah, why would that be?
Mine too, actually.
Yeah,
exactly. Your favorite.
We have something in common.
Yeah. Randy in Costa Mesa. Randy, congratulations. Can't wait to have you come down and spend some free bucks.
Yeah, indeed.
Congrats, Randy.
And thank you, Doug Kern, Fisherman's Landing Tackle, and, of course, Fisherman's Landing. If we want more info, want to check out the latest, greatest on the Liberty coming up at Fisherman's Landing, all the great charter boats out of Fisherman's Landing, and, of course, all the great tackle and tackle advice with your fantastic staff.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks again for the invite this morning. Best way to get in touch with us, always come down and hang out. And if not, give us a call at 619-221-8506 in the tackle store and 619-221-8500 for the landing. Fisherman'sLanding.com. You can book your trips, and stay tuned. Liberty's coming.
Oh, boy. All right. We'll keep you posted here on Let's Talk Hookup about that. And next Saturday, you don't want to miss it. It's our very first San Diego County Ford dealer live remote with Mark Wheeler and more at Encinitas Ford. Such a great place. Corner Encinitas Boulevard and El Camino Real in Encinitas. And then next Sunday, Captain Frank Lopresti with the Royal Polaris will be back in the Mighty 1090 studio. It's going to be a great weekend of shows. Enjoy the Memorial Day weekend, and remember those who gave for our country this weekend. Thanks a lot to Adam and Ryan on the other side of the glass, and we'll see you next week right back here on the Mighty 1090.